We all compare. That is totally natural. That's human nature. That's the natural man. There was a great talk last week given at a BYU devotional, and it's called Wrestling with Comparisons. And it was given by J.B. Haas. And in this devotional, he did a great job of talking about comparison and how comparing is evil in nature. It's the natural man. So how do we get away from it? And he talks about how Christ only compares us to our old self. He doesn't compare us to those around us. He doesn't even compare us to our spouse, to our siblings, to someone like you. There's so many factors that Christ only compares you to your old self. It's interesting because this week in Gospel Doctrine, in Come Follow Me, there's two parables that go right along with this. If you go the last 2 weeks, there's the parable of the workers in the vineyard. And then there's the parable of the prodigal son. And in the prodigal son, Elder Holland gave a great talk about this, the other prodigal. I think it was in 2002. And he talks about the brother who did everything right, but then was mad when he came back that his dad was having a feast, and his dad rejoiced. And I'm going to read this out of here. He said, this is Elder Holland. He says, talking about the other brother, the good brother, the brother who stayed, the brother who did everything right. And he's saying that, he goes, no, he who has virtually everything and who has in his hard-working, wonderful way earned it, lacks one thing that might make him a complete man of the Lord. He nearly is. He has yet to come to compassion and mercy. The charitable breath of vision that is seen, that this is not his rival returning. It is his brother. As his father pled with him to see, it is one who was dead and now is alive. It is one who is lost and now is found. And I love that because it is a story about mercy. It is a story. This isn't your rival coming back. Why, when someone gets something, that we're so bitter and we're angry? Why, if someone else gets a job or someone else gets a blessing? I mean, that's the natural man. That's envy growing up in us. And I can't help but think I was talking to someone and I was just telling a story. This person was going through a hard time. And they were going through a hard time financially and they were trying to get on their feet. And I was using an example of someone else I knew that also was going through a hard time. And I said, this person, has faith in God and everything worked out. It seems like the Lord doesn't answer your prayers till the fourth watch, till the final hour, does it seem, that the house is sold, that you get the job, that things fall into place. And so I was telling this person, I said, here's an example of someone who was faithful, just trust in the Lord. This person turned to me and said, I've done all those things, and the Lord has not answered my prayers. I was just so bitter and so angry because God wasn't answering the prayers the way this person wanted them to be answered. And I just thought that's literally not how God works. You have to trust, and I guess it's building that trust that how it all turns out will be fine. In another one of Elder Holland's great talks about the laborer in the vineyards. And the laborers in the vineyard is a great parable. And I was telling it to my kids last night as we were going over it. And I was saying, here's what look it up where the person who got hired early in the morning at 6 a.m. got paid as the same person who got hired at 3. Now, that didn't shortchange the person at 8 a.m. They agreed on that price. The person at 3 p.m., they didn't know they were going to get that. This was mercy, this love, that no matter, you'll be rewarded. And in this talk, Elder Holland, I love this. He says, may I plead with us. I love how he says, may I plead not to be hurt and certainly not to feel envious when good fortune comes to another person. We're not diminished when someone else is added upon. It is not a race against each other to see who is the wealthiest, the most talented, or the most beautiful, or even the most blessed. The race we are really in is the race against sin. And surely envy is one of the most universal of those. I love that. And then he says, coveting, pouting, or tearing each other's down does not elevate your standing, nor does demeaning someone else improve your self-image. So be kind and be grateful that God is kind. He says it is a happy way to live. So as we have these parables this week, I want you to think about that. Just compare yourself to your old self. He gives please listen to this talk, because he talks about a humble person is not one that thinks less of himself. It's someone who thinks less about himself. And that we can create that. And what a better world, what a wonderful world it would be if we can do that. It's something we all could work on. I hope you enjoy studying this week, and we're loving the New Testament, and so grateful for the BYU devotionals and for Elder Holland and his wonderful, wonderful insights. Hope you all have a wonderful week.